measurements. You gotta say measurements.
Okay, good morning. Today I'm going to be making some scones, Julie style. In no particular order, and yes, just traditional scones. So we're going to start off with approximately 3 cups of self-raising flour. Just into a bowl.
How do you know that's 3 cups?
Because I measured it with my heart. And then we've got approximately a cool salted or unsalted. I'm using unsalted. You can use salted butter. About 80 grams into there. And then what we're going to do to start with, before we enter the milk, 'cause it's only a 3 ingredient scone mix, is we're going to rub the butter through the flour. And then once that's all rubbed through, and you feel like it might need a little bit more butter, put a little bit more butter. If you feel that it's too much butter, put a little bit more flour. So unfortunately this little brain does not retain recipes. So once I learn how to cook something, I make it my own, create my own style, and just by eye put things together.
That's going to be so helpful for your children.
They'll work it out. I'll be doing it for them. Okay, so it's like a bit like a, don't know if you can see that, once it's all gone through, similar to a bit like a crumb, I guess, but still fluffy flour.
I think the secret to scones is not over mixing it.
Not over mixing, and
Once it's wet.
Yep, I'm going to wet it now, I think, because that's rubbed through enough and has gone into the, because you don't want big chunks of butter left. Don't want it left behind, there's a couple of big bits. And then we're just going to put the approximately about a cup of milk. So what I'm going to do is just put it in a bit at a time. Not the whole thing, because you don't want to make it all sloppy and too much. Start with, and it's the same sort of thing. Just rubbing it through, getting it all mixed in there. If you don't like using your hands, you can use some sort of mixing device, but there's no fun in that. Get your hands in there.
Wouldn't a mixing device over mix it?
If you're
not paying attention.
If you're not paying attention and you just don't maybe pulsate it like you did with your sausage roll mix, just to mix it through. But I don't think it matters anyway. It all turns out the same, I feel anyway, in the end. So you sort of just want it to create a bit of a dough.
A wet dough?
So I get if you are kneading and feel that it's too wet, you can add some more flour. I think this is perfect myself because I'm gonna
Do you want to put flour down for you?
need
Till
through if
it
you
out?
like, but I'll put some in there
Yeah. Yeah, do you want to put it down for you?
if you like. So I just left a little bit of flour, just sprinkle on put the whole lot on the bench. And we're just gonna knead it a little bit. If you like, if you don't want a plain flour, a plain scone, you can flavour it yourself. You can make this savoury, you can make it sweet. Today, because I found in my pantry a little box of sultana and apricot, so I'm just going to run that through and make it like a fruit scone. So just to whatever you're liking, I guess, what you want, what you feel like having. Now I'm just going to roll it a bit, get some bit more flour on it. Just mix it through just that little bit. And then I'm going to, you can roll it with a rolling pin. Which I think I might try and, just for you viewers, to make it look kind of pretty. Otherwise, myself, I would just make it a bit rustic.
Just do it the way you do it, Joey. We're not here to please them.
Yeah. And then we've got a cutter, so just a cookie cutter, and you can make it any shape you like. If you don't even need to use a cookie cutter, if you didn't want to, you could always just cut it into squares, even if you wanted to, like this.
So many people do.
Yeah, you
That's
do
right.
whatever you want. You can flavour it to your taste, however you want. See, that doesn't matter. It doesn't. Scones don't have to be round at all. Be anything you like. There we go. That's it. And then I'm just going to can you just put a tiny little bit of milk in there?
Yeah.
So I forgot to save myself a little bit of milk in the milk jug. So just to brush over the top of the scone.
I use your brush too.
No worries.
Do you want to rinse it?
Yes, please. Just place it on the tray, close together, not close together, whatever you want. They will probably, if they're too close, they will join, but that doesn't matter. You just break them apart. And then just brush with a bit of milk. And this is just solely to brown the tops of the scone. then place in the oven until brown on top. I couldn't tell you, probably 10 to 15 minutes. Just keep an eye on it when it's starting to brown. And
Hot oven about 200 degrees.
oh no, probably 180, 190. All done.
Cool. See you in
3
5.
cups of self-raising flour, 1 cup of milk, about 80 grams of butter. And it has to be cold milk and cold butter, not at room temperature. And then flavour it to your liking. Well done. Thanks. I'll show you the finished product later on.